Check them out. They're coming along nicely. If only I hadn't let half of them shrivel on the vine and die before I realized I need to pollinate them by hand. Better luck next time. That's a nice cucumber, huh? What do you think? Was it good? You like it? Do you approve? Look, she can't resist it. So I've been living in a series of tiny Japanese apartments for the better part of the last decade. Now, with a family, I've since upgraded to a 2-bedroom apartment. Wow, living in luxury. But a lot of the same issues still apply, mainly the lack of space, which is a topic in and of itself for another video. Still, with all the innovative and resourceful gardening that I'm constantly seeing around the neighborhood, I'm not kidding. People will make use of every speck of real estate when it comes to growing vegetables. I thought maybe I'd try my hand at it. Last year I grew some cherry tomatoes and some cilantro, which we were able to make into some tacos, sorely needed over here in Japan. I made a sad attempt at growing carrots, which by the way I do not recommend unless you have sufficient land. And yes, I grew some radishes as well. Every year I have my successes and my failures, but it has been a rewarding experience overall, nevertheless. So I thought this year I'd show you what I'm working on. First, my cucumbers. There's a big one going right there. Preferably, you should have some sort of balcony to make these work, as they are a vining plant and they require space. As you can see, I had to get a little creative in order to create more room for them to grow. I've definitely learned a lot from the experience, so next year's cucumbers will definitely be a lot better, that's for sure. I also didn't think my basil situation through very thoroughly, but at least we were able to grow enough to use as a garnish on a couple things here and there. So just to take a closer look here, I used this little planter, and at first I thought for sure it wouldn't be enough soil to supply these plants, but that fear turned out to be unfounded. It's been fine. Just fill it up to the top, constantly water it, because it does actually suck up all the water out of that soil pretty quickly. But yeah, it's continued to vine up. I've been pruning it as well, and as you can see, this one's a little lopsided, but getting pretty good yield out of it. I also thought that there would be issues with sunlight here, which is a big factor for some plants, particularly cucumbers. But I'm actually able to get at least like 4 or 5 hours of sunlight on these a day, and it hasn't been an issue. But if you don't have a balcony, don't despair. You can hear all the cicadas. Obviously it's summer. But anyways, as long as you have cool neighbors, and you don't use too much space and go too crazy, you can still grow things outside and your doorway. So here you see I have some regular tomatoes I tried this year. Unfortunately, I allowed 2 to sprout in this one little pot, and so it's kind of stifling the both of them. I'll probably only get these like 4 tomatoes or so this year, but you know, you live and you learn. But last year I did cherry tomatoes here. I've grown, using that planter I have upstairs, the long one, the big like trough type of thing. I've grown other things here as well. So, you know, just don't monopolize the space, don't get greedy, and usually people don't mind here in Japan if you grow a couple things in and around your doorway. Just make sure they get enough sunlight. So, in conclusion, as long as you have enough space, and like I said, just get creative, you have water, and you have enough sunlight for the vegetables you're trying to grow, you also can grow your own little apartment garden. Just don't go into this whole thing expecting your garden to produce all the vegetables you'll need for the year, because trust me, you're still going to need to go to the grocery store, even for the vegetables that you're currently growing. Chances are you're going to fail, at least for the first couple of years, and even if you succeed, you're probably not going to see great production from such a little garden. So you really have to do this for the love of the game. So if you too want the satisfaction of growing your own vegetables and bringing them from balcony or doorway to plate, then go ahead and give it a shot yourselves. As usual, if you're interested in this sort of content, you'd like me to talk more about Japan and the outdoors, please leave suggestions or comments in the comment section, and please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time.